It's time for high school baseball on the NCW Life channel. Today's broadcast is presented by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth, Global Car Care, Wenatchee's friendly expert audio repair specialist, and Leonard Evans Used Cars Superstore. Now let's head out to the diamond for all the action with the NCW Life channel sports director, Eric Granstrom.
Welcome to a great day for baseball here at Dan White Field, and I guess we got to give credit to Dan Kuntz. He's our weather guy. So he ordered up this weather for us for a doubleheader today. It's Eastmont and West Valley here on the NCW Life channel. Good afternoon. I'm Eric Granstrom, and today we've got a battle of two teams that are battling for the top spots in the Big Nine. We've got Wenatchee in first place right now, Eastmont and West Valley tied for second. The two teams met earlier this week with Eastmont coming out on top by a score of 4-3, and it was a really tight game. We're expecting two really good battles here today at Dan White Field. We're going to talk to Coach Brandon Schmitten about his lineup and about some of the challenges they faced just to get out here and have some green grass to play on as we continue with the pregame show. Of course, the starting lineups and baseball under the sun-splashed skies of Eastern Washington right here live on the NCW Life channel. We'll come back with more right after this. Welcome back once again here to Dan White Field under a gorgeous sun-splashed Friday for the first game of two between the Eastmont Wildcats and the West Valley Rams. Brandon Schmitten joining us now. Well, Coach, let's talk about the game earlier this week. You played these guys on Tuesday. What did you learn?
They're a scrappy team, like they always are. Play good defense, and they have a couple guys in the middle of their lineup that can flat swing it. And their pitching staff comes at you with fastballs, and then they're not afraid to throw off-speed pitches in hitters counts, which means the hitter's ahead in the count. They're not afraid to throw a off-speed pitch in there, which is very effective for them. Like I said, they play good defense, and they're very strong throughout their lineup. They've got a lot of experience. Kids have been playing for a couple years, some of them 3 years now at the varsity level, so they're a very formidable bunch.
We're excited to have the cameras here today because, I mean, you think of Big Nine, you think Eastmont, Wenatchee, West Valley. I mean, those are the three teams that usually seem to be rising to the top. Talk about that challenge with this team and that culture and creating your own culture here.
You bet. Yeah, we knew coming into the season this year that West Valley was going to be the team that everybody was going to be gunning to beat. You know, with us losing a bunch of players from last year, Wenatchee doing the same. They lost 15 guys. We lost 12, 13 guys from our team last year. So it's kind of a restart for us. Coming into the season, we had our catcher, Mitchell Tomlinson, that had played any varsity innings. Nobody had thrown an inning on the mound at the varsity level, and nobody else had played much in the field. So it was a fresh start for us, and they had a head start on us just because of the experience that they've had in the past. But you know, we're catching up to where I want to be at the end of the year, and you know, us going out there and getting a win against them on Tuesday was huge for us as a program. Like I said, they're scrappy, they're very confident, and we've just got our kids playing excited right now, and they're playing with a ton of confidence. So I see, you know, good things happening.
Well, speaking of getting a head start on the season, too, they probably got a little head start on you. I mean, it's been a challenge for everybody here in the Valley. Doesn't matter the sport, to get on your field to practice, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we were inside for more days this year than the last 13 years combined. Wow. So it was definitely a struggle, you know, looking out at the baseball field and seeing a field of snow instead of field of green. It was kind of frustrating for us, but we found a way to work through that, you know, with us doing a lot of fundamental stuff inside the gym, which kind of was a good thing for us because we got a lot of guys that we needed to teach not the basics, but our basis that we wanted to have. And so we've started out with a very good, strong basis. And like I was talking to the other coaches, it may not be a bad thing for us to start indoors here in the future because we get to go over a bunch of fundamental stuff that sometimes you tend to lose if you're outside immediately going at it.
Well, and sometimes it's just the difference of audibly being able to talk to your guys instead of having the open spaces of a baseball field. You're in a confined space where you can say, hey, I need your attention right now.
It's so true. You're looking at 3.5, 4 acres out here where you're having to communicate to kids. So they're like, why is he yelling at me? But, it's not that we're yelling at them. We're just saying it loud enough so they can hear it. So in the basketball gym, it's so much easier to hear and for the kids to understand what you're talking about because you're not, like you said, at such a distance. So,
well, best of luck today. Keep everybody healthy, and we'll talk to you afterwards.
All right. Thank you very much.
Right. Brandon Schmidt joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and take a look at the lineups for this opening of 2. It's Eastmont and West Valley from Dan White Field. We'll come back with more right after this on the NCW Life Channel. Underway. Let's get the lineups here for you. Eric Towsley will bat first for West Valley. He's got an 0-2 count on him. He is the center fielder, or the catcher, excuse me. Batting second is Matthew Braun, left fielder, and batting third, shortstop Justin Vandenbrake. On the mound for the Eastmont Wildcats this afternoon, Jared Garland gets the start here in Game 1, and he has run the count to a ball and 2 strikes on Eric Towsley. Vandenbrake will be followed in the cleanup spot by the first baseman Cody Crow. Batting fifth, third baseman Jacob Caffrey. This pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Batting sixth, the designated hitter is Riley Lublin. He's a junior. Batting seventh, right fielder Colton Moen, and batting eighth, center fielder Spencer Bailey. Batting ninth, the second baseman Spencer Frula. So again, Jared Garland on the mound for Eastmont, and this pitch is served into right field for a base hit. So West Valley getting off to a quicker start than they did here earlier in the week, as Eastmont was able to get a early lead on the Rams down at West Valley. Clark Wright is calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Looks like Cody Prugshot out there on the base paths. Brings up Matthew Braun, the left fielder, and the first pitch to him as he squares the bunt, takes it high for ball 1. 1-0 around the field defensively for Eastmont. Jacob Schmitten is at first base. Thomas Murphy at second. Jack Kuski, the shortstop. Kyler Morrow is the third baseman. Duncan Favor out in left field. Center fielder Chase Peterson, and in right field Liam O'Rourke. Mitchell Tomlinson is the catcher as he comes up from behind home plate to receive that ball. 2-0 the count to Matthew Braun. Beautiful day for baseball here at Dan White Field in East Wenatchee. The 2-0 pitch again high for ball 3. So West Valley in business here early. In the background, you can see big track meet happening today with Eastmont playing host to 3 other schools. The 3-0 pitch is right down the middle for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-1. Shortstop Justin Vandenbrake waiting on deck here for West Valley. Rams coming in with a record of 4-2 overall, 3-1 in Big 9 play, tied for second with Eastmont for second in the Big 9. The runner goes, the pitch swung on and lifted in the air to center. Peterson will take a couple of steps to his left, and now the throw in. Nice throw from Peterson out there in center field on the fly ball out. That's the first out of the inning, and back to first goes Eric Towsley. So 1 out, and that'll bring up the right-handed bats of Justin Vandenbrake. The senior playing shortstop for West Valley, wearing number 2 on his back. West Valley and Eastmont, both with the very similar color schemes, the red and the powder blue. Eastmont with the home reds today. West Valley with the powder blue tops. And a pitch swung on and lifted in the air down the right field line. Long run for O'Rourke, but he's there for the catch just inside the foul line down the right field line. And after giving up the leadoff single and falling behind Matthew Braun, Jared Garland falling into a little bit of a groove here, getting a couple of fly ball outs. And with 2 down, that brings up the first baseman, Cody Crow. That's something that Coach Ryan Frula talked about in the pregame little discussion with him in reference to the game earlier this week. He said that he wanted his batters up there to work the count a little bit more than they did on Tuesday. And so far, so good for West Valley until Justin Vanderbeek popped up the first pitch to him. First pitch here to Cody Crow, misses for a ball. 1-0 the count to Crow, the first baseman for the West Valley Rams, batting in the left-handed batter's box. Running from first, holds. The pitch to the plate is a strike, called, and the count evens at 1-1 strike. Eastmont with a record of 3-3 on the season overall. 3-1 in Big Nine play. Wenatchee so far unblemished in Big Nine play. The runner from first goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw out at second base, not in time. Sliding in safely with a stolen base is Eric Towley. Or did they call it out a ball? They did. Clark Wright, the home plate umpire, says that was ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Cody Crow. Our position here to the third base side of home plate. So a little tough to see inside outside from here with our broadcast location. Runner at second in scoring position, 2 down, and the 2-1 pitch to the plate bounces in. Nice stop by Tomlinson, and the count runs to 3-1 strike. Our broadcast today brought to you by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side. Also, Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore, where the name means a great deal, and Global Car Care, Wenatchee's friendly expert auto repair specialists. The 3-1 pitch on the way to the plate is low for ball 4. So a leadoff single, and now a walk, give it up to Cody Crow, puts runners at first and second with 2 down, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Jacob Caffrey. Caffrey, the senior, steps into the right-handed batter's box here for West Valley. Rams occupying the dugout on the first base side here at Dan White Field in East Wenatchee. The pitch to the plate is a little low and outside for ball 1. Outfield playing pretty much straight away for the right-handed bats of Caffrey. Jared Garland with a pitch and a swing and a miss by Caffrey out in front of that off-speed pitch. That was something for Eastmont that Hunter Brawley was able to do on Tuesday. Kept the Rams off balance with a lot of off-speed stuff. The 1-1 pitch from Garland is swung on and fouled up the third baseline. That's where Coach Ryan Frullo will feel it with his bare hand and toss it back to the mound. So the count of ball and 2 strikes. Garland now out in front of Jacob Caffrey. No score, just underway here. First game of 2, scheduled for 7 innings at Dan White Field. The 2-1 pitch to the plate is a fastball missing high for ball 2. Dimensions here at Dan White Field, 328 down the left field line and the right field line. They don't have it denoted on the center field fence out there, so I'm to assume it's about 380 or so. The pitch here is a curveball. Strike 3 called, and gone looking is Jacob Caffrey. That'll do it for West Valley in their half of the first. They get a couple of runners aboard on a base hit to the walk. They leave 2. We'll head to the bottom of the first. No score for West Valley, and the Eastmont Wildcats are due up next. You're watching live baseball this afternoon from Dan White Field on the NCW Life Channel. Welcome back once again here to Dan White Field. To the bottom of the first inning we go, and the lineup here for Coach Brandon Schmitten. Batting leadoff, playing left field, Duncan Favor. Batting second will be second baseman Thomas Murphy. Batting third, the catcher Mitchell Tomlinson. That's the lineup due up for Eastmont here. In the bottom of the first, they'll face Michael Arnold, the man on the mound, right-hander, going for West Valley today. And the first pitch is in for a strike with a fastball. 0-1 the count to Duncan Favor. Batting the cleanup spot, center fielder Chase Peterson. Batting fifth, the pitcher is Jared Garland. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Favor. He's across again, and strike 2 call. Batting sixth, third baseman Kyler Morrow. Batting seventh is left fielder Jack Kuski. Batting eighth is first baseman Jacob Schmitten. And batting ninth, right fielder Liam O'Rourke. This pitch misses just a little bit up for ball 1. 1-2 the count on Duncan Favor. Appreciate our continued sponsorship of sports on the NCW Life Channel by AC Checker Taxi Cab. The 1-2 pitch on the way to the plate, swung on and fouled at the plate, so a dead ball called. The count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Also sponsoring our sports, Neil's Boots and Shoes and Quick Lube and Tune. Appreciate you joining us on a gorgeous afternoon for baseball here in East Wenatchee. Lots of activities happening around the ballpark today. This pitch swung on the ground and back over the mound. It's going to get smothered by the shortstop, but he's too deep in the hole for a throw. Nice play by Vanderbrick to get over to it, but an infield single here for Duncan Favor. One aboard for Eastmont, and that'll bring up Thomas Murphy. Murphy, the second baseman, steps into the right-handed batter's box. Senior will eye out towards the mound at Michael Arnold and see what the man wearing number 13 has to deliver on his first pitch to the plate. He turns and bunts it up the first baseline. Nice bunt. Pitcher off the mound, fields and throws, and it's in time for the out. But a nice sacrifice bunt, because down to second base on the play goes Duncan Favor. So a sac bunt, 1-3 on the putout. One out here for Eastmont, and that'll bring up catcher Mitchell Tomlinson. Tomlinson, a great game against West Valley on Tuesday, had 3 RBI in the 4-3 win. Tomlinson standing in the right-handed batter's box. The runner from second with a pretty good lead out there. Curve ball on the first pitch, misses outside for ball 1. One 1-0 the count to Mitchell Tomlinson, with Duncan Favor out there at second base with the lead. There's the pitch to the plate, swung on, popped up, shallow left field. The shortstop coming over, Vanderbrick. Nope, he's going to give ground to Caffrey, the third baseman, who will make the catch in shallow right field for the out. So a pop up to the third baseman for the second out, and holding at second is Duncan Favor. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Chase Peterson. Peterson on the roster normally wears number 6, but with Devin Schneider out, he grabbed the number 7 jersey. See if 7's his lucky number today. First pitch to him is high. The runner from second goes. The throw to third is in time, and they got him. Caught stealing, trying to steal that base is Duncan Favor, and that'll be it for Eastmont here in the bottom of the first. They get a runner aboard with a base hit. Nobody left. We'll head to the second, scoreless here between Eastmont and West Valley. You're watching live Big 9 baseball on the NCW Life channel. Welcome back once again here to Dan White Field as we head to the top of the second. Riley Lublin, Colton Moen, and Spencer Bailey due up here for the Rams in a scoreless contest so far. I'm trying to figure out where the music's coming from. I think that's coming across the way from the track meet happening at the football stadium across the way. So Riley Lublin will step up here, the designated hitter. And the first pitch to him a little bit low for a ball. 1-0 the count as Jared Garland continues to twirl on the mound here for Eastmont. Threw quite a few pitches in that first inning against the Rams. The 1-0 pitch is low for a ball. 2-0 the count. Last day of March. This pitch swung and grounded to third off of the glove of the third baseman. Shortstop comes up with it, but his throw across is not in time. Kyler Morrow had the ball go off his glove as he scooted to his left. Jack Kuski backing up on the play. We'll see how they score that, if that's a base hit or not. It is a hit. And so an infield single for Riley Lublin. And that'll bring up right fielder Colton Moen. Senior steps up with a runner aboard. Third base runner of the game so far for West Valley. They're going to toss over and make sure he stays honest to the bag at first. Schmitten with the tag on the toss over by Jared Garland. April 1st tomorrow. Be careful out there. This bunt attempt up the third baseline. Third baseman in will field barehand throw, and the throw a little bit off the mark. Sliding in, covering from the second base position, Thomas Murphy. Nice attempt on the bare hand by Kyler Morrow, but everybody's safe. Down to second goes Lublin. Mullen at first. They're going to say that's an error. And it'll be an E5 on Morrow. So runners at first and second. That'll bring up center fielder Spencer Bailey. See if he tries to lay down the bunt. Pitch to him. He tried to bunt it, fouled it back behind home plate, and the count's 0-1 on Bailey. Coming up tomorrow, no live sports here on the NCW Live channel, but we do have sports. Chilliwack and Wenatchee Wild, Game 4 from the Mainland Division Finals on the air tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock, and then Sunnyside Wenatchee Soccer at 7 on the rebroadcast here on the NCW Live channel. The 0-1 pitch, he tried to bunt it again, popped it up behind home plate, or in front of home plate on foul territory up the first baseline. Nice attempt by Mitchell Tomlinson to try to scamper up the line to get after it. But a foul ball and strike 2 the count. Everybody retreats to their bags. Lublin out at second, Mullen at first. Bailey behind in the count at 0-2. So one would think he would swing away here, but the Rams do have an out to give to try to put the runners closer to home plate, and he takes for a strike 3 call. Beautiful curveball there by Jared Garland. That's the first out of the second inning. Big out there for Garland. That brings up the second baseman Spencer Frula. Coach Ryan Frula down on the third base coach's box with a long series of hand gestures to him. Looks like everybody's ready to go. Boy, man, the sun feels so good after such a long winter. First pitch here, swung on and lifted in the air to left field. That's going to maybe score a run. They're going to hold the runner at third. They will. Nice job getting the ball in by Duncan Favor on a base hit to left by Spencer Frula. So the sacks are full of Rams here, with Lublin at third, Mullen at second, Frula at first base, and back to the top of the order for the man who got the hit parade going in the top of the first, Eric Towsley. Towsley with a sharp single to right in his first bat. So sticky situation here for Jared Garland and the East Blunt Wildcats. Infield pulled in tight on the corners. This pitch swung on a high fly ball deep to right field. Going back, looking up, it's over his head. That might clear the bases. Coming up with it is O'Rourke. The throw in to second base. They're going to come home with it, and the tag by Tomlinson. They got him at home plate. My, oh my. That was a tight play, but Colton Mullen thrown out. So 1 run scores on the fly ball. Call it a double by Eric Towsley. Give him an RBI. Winding up down at third base on the play is Spencer Frula. So make that 9-4-1 on the put out at home for the second out, if you're keeping track at home. Pitch here to Matthew Braun is a called strike, 0-1 the count. Braun 0 for 1. He flew out to center in his first at bat. So West Valley, the team that scores first here on this Friday afternoon. This pitch swung on, popped up shallow. Going to be a tough play. Shortstop going out, left fielder coming in, and it will be Favor who makes the catch into the sunshine and is able to get the final out. But not before West Valley gets a run on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 men are left. We'll head to the bottom of the second. West Valley 1, Eastmont nothing. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Live channel.
There's no substitute for the power of cable TV advertising. With Solion Cable TV advertising, you can reach your target audience right here in North Central Washington. We understand their viewing habits and can precisely target your customers on great cable networks like these. Call Solion Broadcasting today and let us show you how to put your business message right in front of thousands of prospects at a very affordable price. Solion Broadcasting, 509-888-2020.
1-4-0 and Eastmont.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Wait a minute. Hi. Wait, this is my show.
Okay. All right. Well, then it's your show. Let's go. Local high school sports is brought to you by Neal's Family Shoes and Repair, bringing you White's, a Spokane-made all-leather Legend boot. Buy 5 pairs of Cool Max socks, get the 6th free. AC Checker Taxi Cab, fast, friendly, reliable, serving all of North Central Washington. AC Checker Taxi, the classiest taxi cabs in the industry. And Quick Lube and Tune, quality workmanship from oil changes to computer diagnostics. Quick Lube and Tune, home of the good guys, open Sunday through Friday. Chase Peterson leads it off here to start off the bottom of the second for Eastmont and takes the first pitch up and in for ball 1, 1-0 the count. West Valley on top of Eastmont 1-0 after getting a run in the top half of this inning. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Peterson is across, but a little low for a ball. 2-0 the count. The center fielder for Eastmont. He'll be followed by Jared Garland and Kyler Morrow. Eastmont with a task at hand, trailing at 1-0. This pitch swung on and a fly ball to shallow center. Spencer Bailey calling for it. He'll make the catch for the out. So 1 up, 1 down here for Eastmont. That'll bring up the pitcher, Jared Garland.
Number 14, Jared Garland.
So if you are in the lineup as a pitcher, in the batting order, you always try to help yourself as much as possible. See if Garland can do it here. The first pitch to him, curveball, strike called. And a count 0-1 on the junior for Eastmont. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back, and the count's 0-2. We've got some loud music coming from next door at the track meet that is just getting underway with the national anthem over there. Almost feels like we should stop here. The 0-2 pitch on the way is low and outside for a ball. 1-2 the count. If it's that loud from here, and I got headphones on, I can't imagine how loud it is for the fans that are assembled in the track meet participants. This pitch swung on and grounded back over the mound into center field. So Jared Garland trying to help his own cause here with a base hit for Eastmont with 1 out, and that'll bring up third baseman Kyler Morrow. We're also going to get a courtesy runner for Eastmont as Kaylor Cannon will go out there and run for Morrow or for Garland at first base. So a courtesy runner at first. So we'll keep a close eye on that for you here on the broadcast. Appreciate you watching us here this afternoon on the NCW Life Channel. Eric Granstrom with you, coming to you from Dan White Field in East Wenatchee. West Valley and Eastmont, 2 of the top teams of the Big Nine, squaring off here on a gorgeous afternoon. Kyler Morrow steps up for Eastmont. Toss over to the bag at first. Close play over there as Cannon dove back for the bag. Cody Crow over there with the tag, and that was awfully close. Morrow waiting for the first pitch to come his way. Instead, another throw over to first, and this time back a little more safely is Cannon. Tiny hint of a breeze, but really not much to speak of here at Dan White Field. This pitch is low for a ball. So 1-0 the count on Kyler Morrow. Sophomore getting the start at third base here for Eastmont this afternoon. Looks down towards Coach Brandon Schmitten. And Morrow ready. And the pitch to him misses low for a ball. 2-0 the count on Kyler Morrow. Busy weekend up at Mission Ridge with some ski racing going on this weekend, starting today, running through Sunday. The 2-0 pitch swung on a grounded to the left side of the infield. Shortstop backhands the ball, drops it, then picks it up and has no place to go. They're going to call an error, I think, on that one. On the shortstop for West Valley, Justin Vanderbrake, scooting to his right, trying to backhand the ball. Had plenty of time to get there for it, but was not able to get to it cleanly. So runners are safe. Cannon running for Garland out at second base. That'll bring up Jack Kuski, the left fielder. So Eastmont with a chance to counter here in the bottom of the second. First pitch to Kuski is a curve, missing high for a ball. 1-0 the count on Jack, a junior, getting the start at left field here for Eastmont this afternoon. 1-0 the count. Michael Arnold checks over his shoulder at second base, and the pitch to the plate. Swung on a chop slowly up the third baseline. Chance to get the one runner at first, and he will there. Everybody advances 90 feet. Caffrey with the sure hands here at third base. 5-3 on the putout. Second out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman for Eastmont, Jacob Schmitten. So Schmitten's going to have to do it with 2 outs here for Eastmont. Cannon, that is, at third base. Morrow at second. Heavily right-handed hitting lineup here for Coach Schmitten. This pitch is a fastball. Strike called. 0-1 the count. Broadcast sponsored by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee, Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore, and Global Car Care in Wenatchee. 0-1 count to Schmitten. 2 on, 2 down for Eastmont, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Arnold's pitch to the plate is a fastball, missing a little bit inside for a ball 1. 1-1 the count. That's how they stack the lineup always for the Big Nine. You play the same team 3 times in 1 week. So Eastmont and West Valley played on Tuesday, and now the doubleheader here today. The pitch here is an off-speed pitch. Strike called by Clark Wright, the home plate umpire. Clark Wright and Cody Pregshot are umpires for the game today on a gorgeous afternoon here in the Wenatchee Valley. Appreciate you joining us on the NCW Life Channel. 1-2 the count to Schmitten. Arnold steps off. It's time. Needs to do a little foot cultivation out there on the mound. Golden run waiting just 90 feet away. The 1-2 pitch swung on and grounded off the end of the bat to the second baseman. Right there to scoop and field and throw is Spencer Frula. And that'll do it for Eastmont here in the second. They get a couple aboard on a base hit and a run. They leave 2, and we will head to the third. It is 1-0 West Valley on top of Eastmont. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Justin Vanderbeek leading things off here for West Valley as we head to the top of the third. Rams on top of 1-0 over Eastmont. And this pitch swung on and hit on a hop right to Jack Kuski. The shortstop will throw over to Jacob Schmitten in time for the out. 6-3 on the putout. 1 out here in the third. Cody Crow due up next, followed by Jacob Caffrey here in the third for the visitors. If you cannot get enough of the Wenatchee Wild, we've got a quadruple header for you coming up on Sunday here on the NCW Life Channel. All of that series against Chilliwack coming up Sunday starting at noon right here on the NCW Life Channel. First pitch to Cody Crow misses high for a ball. 1-0 the count to Crow, who is 1 for 1 in the ball game. Or excuse me, 0 for 1. Or has a in fact, I was looking at his wrong line here. There we go. He's yet to get a plate appearance. But he is now with a ground out to first. As Schmitten will take it to the bag himself, 3 unassisted. 2 down here in the third brings up the third baseman, Jacob Caffrey. So Jarrett Garland struggled in the first couple of frames, but settling down here in the third, getting help from his defense here. Caffrey struck out looking to end the first, takes the first pitch for ball 1. Next live broadcast will be next Friday here on the NCW Life Channel across the way at Eastmont Stadium as the Eastmont boys soccer team will host Eisenhower right here on the NCW Life Channel. Next pitch misses for a ball as well. So 2-0 the count on Jacob Caffrey. This pitch is a strike. 2-1 count on the third batter here for West Valley in the third. Leading 1-0. Garland ready with the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled away. out of play on the first base side. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got an audience checking out the broadcast near our van out there in left field. Stacked up on a pickup truck out there. Caffrey takes the next pitch for a ball. So the count has run full to Caffrey. And Jared Garland trying to get through a base inning without a base runner, but he will not get through it as the single serve to left by Caffrey puts a runner aboard with 2 down. That'll bring up the DH, Riley Lublin. Lublin got aboard on a ball hit on the ground that skipped off the glove of Kyler Morrow. Jack Kutsky was backing up on the play, but just couldn't quite get that throw over to first base in time. So Lublin got aboard, ended up scoring on the double by Eric Towsley. That's our only run of the ball game. First pitch to him here is high and inside for ball 1. Caffrey aboard for the first time today. Gets a sizable lead over there at first base. Held on by Schmitten, and a toss over, not in time. First of 2 games here today at Dan White Field in East Wenatchee between the Rams and the Wildcats. 1-0 pitch to the plate is high for a ball. 2-0. So the pitcher's on a pitch count now instead of the old days when it was an inning count. Talking with the coaches, they really see it as pretty much negligible in the difference. This curveball's in for a taken strike, and a count 2-1 on Riley Lublin. 6 seniors on the club for West Valley, a team that took Wenatchee right to the edge to get to the Final Four. Losing last year to the Panthers, a team that made it to the semifinals and lost for the first time. Ended up finishing 3rd in state. 3-1 the count, and this curveball is a strike called. Lublin kind of backs away with a wrinkle of his nose, looking down towards his coach in the third base coach's box, thinking maybe that wasn't a strike. 3-2 count. The runner from first goes. The pitch swung on and fouled, cued off the end of the bat. And the count remains full, and back to first base goes Jacob Caffrey. The 3-2 pitch again as the runner goes is a fastball, a little low for ball 4. So the second walk of the game given up here by Jared Garland. That'll bring up the right fielder, Colton Moen.
Out of the right fielder, number 9, Colton Moen.
So West Valley talking with their coach, Ryan Fruller, before the ball game. He says, you know, the key for us is pitching and defense. The runs will come. Pitching and defense is key. This pitch swung on a grounded on a hop right through the wickets of the third baseman, Kyler Morrow, into left field. Here comes a Throng's throw home, a little bit high, however, and a run will score on the air of the third baseman on a ground ball right between his legs. Caffrey scores on the play, makes it 2-0 West Valley. And over to third base goes Lublin on the play. And that'll bring up center fielder Spencer Bailey. So a tough game fielding so far for Eastmont with a couple of errors in this one. First pitch by Garland on the way is swung on a miss, and way out in front of that off-speed pitch was Spencer Bailey. And a count 0-1. Bailey 0 for 1 of the game. He struck out looking back in the second. Runners on the corners with 2 down. The pitch bounces in. Tomlinson lost his eye on it. He did block it. The ball rolled just a little bit to his right. Finally able to get it. And the count evens to Bailey at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch to the plate, swung and grounded towards the shortstop. Took an ugly hop off the apron of the grass, but right there to field it and go to second for the short out is the shortstop, Jack Kutsky. But the Rams get a run on a hit and an error and a man left. We will head to the bottom of the third. West Valley 2, Eastmont nothing. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. To the bottom of the third we go, and due up for Eastmont here in the third is Liam O'Rourke, number 9 hitter, and then back to the top of the order for Duncan Favor and Thomas Murphy. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCW Live Channel. Eric Grandstrom with you. We've got Uriah Darby, Dan Kuntz, Lonnie England here at the ballpark today. Becca Freemuth back in the studios, and the first pitch is taken low for a ball. 1-0 the count to Liam O'Rourke. Up for the first time for Eastmont here as the Wildcats trail 2-0 to West Valley. The 1-0 pitch on the way to the plate, swung on a missed, or maybe he fouled that off the catcher's glove. The count evens to O'Rourke at 1 ball and 1 strike. West Valley getting a run in the second on an RBI double by Eric Towsley. And then a run scored on an error here in the third. 2-0. West Valley on top. The off-speed pitch here called for a strike. 1-2 the count to O'Rourke from Michael Arnold. Arnold and Towsley, the battery here for West Valley. The 1-2 pitch on the way by Arnold to the plate. Fastball misses high for ball 2. 2-2 windup and delivery. Swung on a miss. Gone on the strikeout. The first strikeout of the game by Michael Arnold. And with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, back to the top of the order for left fielder Duncan Favor. Favor with a base hit to start the ball game to center field. Got as far as second base. Was caught stealing to end the inning for Eastmont. Curveball misses low for ball 1 to Favor. Favor in there ready from the left-handed batter's box, and the pitch to him bounces in for a ball. 2-0 the count on the left fielder for Eastmont. Swings at the 2-0 pitch, pops it up on the left side of the infield, and the third baseman, without the aid of sunglasses, looking up into our hazy sunshine. Caffrey is able to make the catch for the out. 2 down for Eastmont here in the third. That'll bring up second baseman Thomas Murphy. Murphy with a beautiful sacrifice bunt in the first to move Favor down to second base for the Wildcats. Looked like they were going to have something going offensively in that first inning, but it all kind of rattled and fell apart. First pitch misses for a ball in the dirt. 1-0 the count to Thomas Murphy. Murphy back in and ready, and the pitch on the way to him from Arnold swung on and lifted in the air to center field. Over to his right about 5 steps is Spencer Bailey. He'll make the catch for the out. So a quick 1-2-3 story here for Eastmont in the third. We head to the fourth inning of play. It is West Valley 2, Eastmont nothing. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. To the bottom of the fourth, Eastmont needs to get their hitting shoes on here. Running out of time in this first game of the doubleheader, scheduled for 7 innings, trailing 2-0 here with just a couple of hits to show for it so far. Mitchell Tomlinson, who had 3 ribbies the other day in a 4-3 win for Eastmont, steps to the plate to lead things off here in the fourth. And listening to Coach Brandon Schmitten talk about a little rally time, let's get the bats rattling here for Eastmont. Tomlinson 0 for 1. He popped up to third in his first at bat. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it over the mound to the second baseman, Spencer Frula, right there to make the field and throw in time for the out. And so 1 pitch, 1 out here for Eastmont in the fourth. We'll bring up center fielder Chase Peterson. Our broadcast on the NCW Live Channel brought to you by Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore, where the name means a great deal. Global Car Care, Wenatchee's friendly expert to auto repair specialists, and Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side. First pitch to Peterson misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Peterson 0 for 1 with a fly out to center in his first at bat in the second. We're in the fourth. West Valley on top, 2-0. The 1-0 pitch on the way to the plate is a strike, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Dan Koontz joining us up here in the booth. Dan, I can grab that microphone right there. I know you're a big fan of baseball. This pitch misses for a ball.
My favorite sport.
2-1 to count. Since when? Since forever?
Well, as I mentioned today at the office, as we were dinking around working hard, it was the only team. It was the only team sport I was any good at. Individual sport, golf, I could do okay. Billiards, darts, but the only team sport I could play with any proficiency was baseball. I didn't like football. I don't like getting hit.
3-1 pitch on the way to Peterson. Swung on a grounded towards the third baseman. Off the glove it goes, fumbling and bumbling around. He's not going to be able to get a throw off.
It's going to be an error, I think, Eric.
Yeah, it'll be an error on the third baseman. So the second error of the game per side. Eastmont with a little life here in the fourth. With a runner aboard, brings up the pitcher, Jared Garland. Garland trying to help his own cause in the second with a base hit. See if he's able to find a hole out in this defense here against West Valley. How did you become a Yankee fan? That's what I want to know. Toss over the bag at first. Oh, I thought they had him dead to rights over there.
That first baseman for West Valley, he looks like a ball player, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Looks like a ball player.
Yeah, he looks like a football player, too.
West Valley traveled well. I talked to a number of people. You can't miss them. They got the Ram hat.
Boy, is that close.
A lot of West Valley folks made the trip up, and well, they should. It's a good team. West Valley may be the best team in the Big Nine this year.
Yeah. Off to a 3-1 start to the Rams, same as Eastmont and Wenatchee. Undefeated so far. Toss over the bag at first, but again, who's Wenatchee played so far, too?
That's true. You got a point there. Both teams played Richland in non-league games, and Richland, of course, took care of business. They defeated both the Wildcats and the Panthers.
Yep. This pitch swung on, popped up into shallow center field. The shortstop is out, and looking up into the sunshine, Vanderbrink is able to make the catch out there. So a pop out to short, second out of the inning. Peterson holds up at first base, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Kyler Morrow. Morrow got aboard on an error in the second.
It's probably not 60 degrees, but it sure feels like 80, doesn't it?
Boy, it does. Well, it's just because we've been up to our armpits in snow, it seems, for so long this winter. The pitch to Morrow on the way to the plate, swung on and fouled off of the plate, comes up and hits his helmet. Nearly knocks his lid off.
Looks like Clarkie's going to give him a little time to recover there.
Yeah. I don't think it actually hit him. Probably surprised him more than anything else.
Had a lot of backspin. Reminds me of my 9-iron.
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where we're playing wooden bats?
I'd love it. They
got to start in the college first, I suppose. And I don't know. There's so much money in those bats. Boy, another close play at the bag at first. But getting back safely is Chase Peterson.
Well, if you want to play at the higher level, you got to learn how to play with the wood bat, which is, of course, why the West Coast League uses the wood bat, the Apple Sox League. I was just going to say, love watching Apple Sox baseball in the summertime because that really is an equator. Pitch here misses low for ball 1, and 1-1 to count to Kyler Morrow. We're in the bottom of the fourth, 2-0 our score. Dan Koontz joining us up here in the box. You're just running back and forth between center field and here, aren't you? And it's a long run, too, let me tell you.
The 1-1 pitch misses low for ball 2. 2-1 the count.
You'll notice a couple of times during the fine camera work by our own Uriah Darby, you'll see the track meet going on in the background behind the right field fence. It's a huge track meet. There's about 20 teams.
I'm glad they turned the volume down on their music over there.
Yeah, there was
the pitch swung on and popped up foul territory first base side, and over there is Cody Crow. He will reach up, make the catch for the out. So the inning is retired here for the Eastmont Wildcats. They get a runner aboard on an error. Leave a man. We'll head to the fifth. 2-0 West Valley on top. You're watching Eastmont baseball here on the NCW Life Channel. To the fifth inning we go, scheduled for 7. West Valley on top, 2-0 here over Eastmont. Cody Crow, Jacob Caffrey, Riley Lublin do appear in the fifth for the Rams. Crow stepping up. He's 0 for 1 in the game.
It's a wide stance. He takes up almost the whole batter's box, doesn't he?
He does.
It's kind of a Joe DiMaggio stance, only, of course, he's left-handed. That's the way DiMaggio stood, of course, as far apart as his feet could get.
Really pigeon-toed with that right foot. Coming back towards the catcher. The 0-1 pitch to him. Swung on and hit hard to pass the mound. Second baseman over. Nice job by Thomas Murphy. He'll field and throw to Schmitten in time for the out. 4-3 on the putout. 1 out here in the 5th brings up the third baseman Jacob Caffrey, who's 1 for 2. Struck out looking in the first, singled and scored a run in the third. As West Valley's on top 2-0.
Wenatchee Panthers are down picking on Sunnyside. They have to play early. They don't have lights at Sunnyside's baseball.
Well, that's
field.
right. I wondered why they had a 1 o'clock start time for that first game.
Yep, they got to get them both in before it gets dark.
I didn't know if it was because of spring break.
Nope.
Starting this weekend.
I think they're the only team in the Big 9 that does not have lights at their home field.
Well, we didn't have lights here at Eastmont until,
true.
what, last year?
Yep.
1-0 count as the first pitch bounces in to Jacob Caffrey. And the 1-0 pitch on the way is a fastball missing high for ball 2.
So hopefully we'll get some Wenatchee scores before this broadcast is over.
Yeah, we very well could. That website for the Big 9 and for the rest of the leagues is pretty good.
It's up to the coaches to post the scores, and they do a good job doing it. So.
Right.
Especially if they win.
Yeah, they're real quick about doing that.
If you lose late on a Friday, sometimes you don't get the score until the following Tuesday.
Let's see, Sunnyside. I wonder, do they make the side trip there to go all the way to Miners?
I'd have to doubt it.
Curveball missing for ball 3, 3-0 the count. That was the one thing about doing broadcasts down there. Even when the Apple Sox went down to play Yakima, when the Pippins were in the West Coast League, that we got a chance to go to Miners, and I was considered a coach as the broadcaster, so free food.
And that was before, of course, they had sit-down dining. Of course, back in the day, Miners was strictly a drive-in, and they had small seating, and it was for coaches only. Of course, the players got your burger, and you sat in the bus, and you ate your burger. Now, of course, it's huge. It seats 200 people or so.
Strikeout for Caffrey. So good job by Jared Garland settling down here in the 5th. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up the designated hitter, Riley Lublin. First pitch is in there for a strike to Lublin. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit and a run scored. He walked in his last plate appearance in the 3rd. The 0-1 pitch to him here is swung on a grounded foul up the third base line, and the count 0-2. So a nice job after kind of throwing a lot of pitches in the first 3 innings for Jared Garland today. He has settled down here in the last couple of frames, and the 0-2 pitch on the way to Lublin is a fastball outside. Try to get him to bite on that one, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. So how do you think the Mariners are going to do this year?
I like their chances. I like their chances. We talked about it this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, which, by the way, is my award-winning show. Steve Hare was my guest, and we talked about the American League West, which I think is the best division in baseball. And I think 3 of the 4 teams are going to the playoffs. How they're going to get there, I don't know. But I like Texas. I like Houston. I like Seattle.
Swing on a pitch in the dirt, so up from behind home plate is Tomlinson. So a K2-3 is the official put-out on that one. And for the first time in this game, Jared Garland gets through the West Valley lineup 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Rams lead it 2-0. We're coming back. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Welcome back once again here to Dan White Field to the bottom of the 5th inning. Due up here for Eastmont, their bottom 3 of the order, Jack Kuski, Jacob Schmitten, and Liam O'Rourke. The Rams on top, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. No runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for Eastmont. As Michael Arnold continues to twirl on the mound here for West Valley with a 2 hitters so far. As Jack Kuski steps up, he's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the third baseman back in the 2nd. And the first pitch to him here to start off the bottom of the 5th is a fastball strike, and 0-1 the count. Dan Kuntz joining us up here in the booth.
Of course, you talked about this with the Wenatchee broadcast last week and with the doubleheader sweep at Davis. New rules this year for pitchers' eligibility that go by pitch count now. This is new. Instigated this year, brought in this year. Before that, it was just total innings pitched, regardless of how many pitches you threw in said inning. And for the bigger schools, talking to Coach Schmitten and the other coaches from, say, Wenatchee and Eastmont, not much of an issue because somebody has to keep track of the pitches and they have to be accurate. The smaller schools were not so enthused about it. They just don't have the manpower to do that kind of thing. But I think it's the right thing to do.
Well, and is it on an honor system? That was the question I had. As the count runs here 3-1 on Jack Kuski. Trying to get aboard to lead off here on the bottom of the fifth, trailing 2-0. Or 2-2 the count. This pitch swung on and hit on a hop right past the second base bag into center field. So a base hit to start the fifth. Eastmont trying to get things ignited here offensively, and maybe that will just do it, as that'll bring up the first baseman, Jacob Schmitten. Schmitten 0 for 1 with a ground out to the second baseman back in the second in his first plate appearance. Kuski at first with a short lead over there, held on by the very large-sized Cody Crow. And the pitch to the plate bunted up into the air. It's going to skip foul on the first base side. And the count 0-1 on Jacob Schmitten, trying to play a little small ball here for Eastmont and for Coach Brandon Schmitten.
Quick shout out to the OMAC baseball team. They fielded a team this year. Didn't have enough to turn out last year, so they didn't have a team. And the CTL was down to 4 baseball teams last spring. Although they're just not playing well, at least they got a team going. So kudos to whoever were able to get enough guys to turn out for OMAC so they can field a team this year. It could be a long year, but at least they're playing.
You know, it's tough for the small schools, the B schools. I don't see any track anywhere. So if a kid wants to do track, he's got to travel to another school, I assume. First pitch miss, or the second pitch miss, or is in for a strike. Oh, he called it a strike because he pushed the bat across the plate on that bunt attempt. So 0-2 the count to Jacob Schmitten. Tennis is also kind of hit and miss with those smaller schools, too. You might be able to field a team yourself, but if you have nobody to play against, kind of tough to make a league. Toss to the bag at first, not in time to get Kuski over there. 1 on, nobody down here for Eastmont. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Rams on top 2-0. The 0-2 pitch on the way by Arnold, swung on and hit into center field and over to his left to corral. That one is Spencer Bailey. And the out recorded, first out of the fifth. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter in the order for Eastmont, right fielder Liam O'Rourke. Now there's an Irish name for you.
Could be a beautiful night tonight if you got no other plans. Head to leave off the field at the Apple Bowl when Wenatchee Panthers taking on Moses Lake in soccer tonight.
That's right.
7 o'clock start there.
Big game for Eastmont on the road today, too. Taking on Sunnyside. We should also mention, I've got all the standings here, but good start for baseball for Eastmont and Wenatchee, and good start for softball as well. Both teams unbeaten so far in Big 9 play.
Eastmont's had Wenatchee's upper hand in softball for the last few years. They got a good program going over here.
And that starts with the Greater Wenatchee Girls Softball Association, what they're able to do with the fast pitch leagues. Of course, they got Wenatchee and Eastmont kids playing for teams from both sides of the river. The 1-0 pitch is a curveball called strike by the home plate umpire, Clark Wright, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And there's no question, Eric, in my mind, it's probably been the biggest change since my high school days, is that all the Eastmont and Wenatchee guys who share the same sport, they all know each other now.
Right.
That wasn't the case back in my day. They didn't have the clubs. Occasionally they had different little leagues. They had different everything.
So the only time you knew somebody across the river is if you were related to them, basically.
Or
or if their parents
games
worked together.
All-star games.
Like
the Legion teams, of course, would take the best players from the general area, kind of a...
Runner for first goes. The pitch swung on and fouled back.
But now they all know each other. They play in the same leagues almost from the time they're just kids. That's especially true in, say, soccer.
Well, you saw that Tuesday night with the Eastmont Wenatchee soccer match over at the Apple Bowl. Despite the two rivalry schools, somebody goes down, they're picking each other up.
Yep.
Didn't see that in the old days.
No, you didn't.
They were down, you stepped on them. Toss to the bag at first, and they got him. Jack Kuski nailed, and Michael Arnold has a pretty good move over there. Caught stealing 1-3 is that out, so that's the second out. And now O'Rourke behind in the count. Low man on the totem pole right now for Eastmont. The 1-2 pitch on the way by Arnold. Fastball high. He does get it up there. We don't have a radar gun, but that's Pretty fast pitch there from the right-hander. Michael Arnold with a 2-2 pitch on the way to the plate. Swung on and lifted into shallow center. Long run, but right there for the catch is Spencer Bailey, and that's going to do it for Eastmont here in the 5th inning. They get a runner aboard on a base hit, but he's caught stealing, and so we are through 5. West Valley 2, Eastmont nothing. You're watching Wildcat Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. To the 6th inning we go. Bottom of the order due up for West Valley as the Rams are on top 2-0 over Eastmont. Colton Mullen, Spencer Bailey, and Spencer Frula due up here for the West Valley Rams. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, Rams 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. No runs, 3 hits, and 2 errors for Eastmont in this one as Jared Garland continues to pitch for Eastmont. And the first pitch off speed taken for a strike, 0-1 the count on Colton Mullen. Seems like Garland has kind of worked into a little bit of a groove here last couple of innings for Eastmont. 0-1 pitch on the way, swung on and hit hard to left field. That's going to get into the gap. Rounding first, heading for second. Right, the left fielder comes up with the ball, Duncan Favor, and a stand-up double to start the inning by Colton Mullen. So West Valley in business here in the 6th. That'll bring up center fielder Spencer Bailey. Bailey's 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the 2nd. Hit into a fielder's choice to the shortstop to end the 3rd. Dan Kuntz joining us up here in the booth. I'm Eric Grandstrom with your action here on the NCW Life Channel. Thanks for ordering up this weather, Dan.
You're welcome.
I told your brother Eric that you would take credit for that. So he says, of course he would take credit for that.
Whenever I do the forecast each morning, I always remind them it's from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. But their batting average is really good, the National Weather Service.
Yeah.
They do a very good job.
0-1 pitch swung on and hit right on the line to the shortstop. Throw back to the bag at second in time for the out double play. Bang, bang. But I think the head coach, Ryan Frula, wants to come over and say he was off the bag.
Looked like he may have been off the bag.
So the runner out there at second, Mullen, is pointing to where the foot was for the second baseman, Thomas Murphy. It is a line out to the shortstop for the out on Bailey. But Cody Progshot says nope. He saw it the way he saw it. So line out 6-4 on the double play. That'll bring up second baseman Spencer Frula. I think from our angle here, I could see his foot was off the bag.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think the umpire may have been blocked.
Curveball strike taken by Frula, 0-1 the count. Frula 1 for 1. He singled to left in the 2nd and walked in the 4th. The 0-1 pitch, bunt attempt, fouled on the third base side, and the count 0-2 quickly on Spencer Frula. And this is what Jared Garland could use right here as a quick inning for Eastmont. We're in the 6th, headed for 7 scheduled for the opener.
West Valley is hitting him. Of course, it was a solid double, and the double play was a well-hit ball. So they're hitting the ball on the screws right now. West Valley is.
Fastball misses away for ball 1. 1-2 the count to Spencer Frula.
From our vantage point, of course, we can't see the Eastmont bullpen from here, so we don't know if Coach Schmitten has anybody warming up right now.
I leaned out the window. I can't see anybody, Dan.
I can go check between innings.
2-2 the count. I think our scoreboard's a little bit behind that play here. Yeah, the pitch to the plate bounces in for a ball, and count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Did I notice Mr. Murtaugh is over there running things again?
You cannot keep Ken Murtaugh away from a baseball diamond.
Love to see Ken around. He's Apple Sox, Wenatchee Panthers, Eastmont Wildcats. His pitch swung on and hit hard to the second baseman. Nice play by Thomas Murphy. Throw to first in time. So it turns out to be a 1-2-3 frame, even though they get a double. Nobody left on board. To the bottom of the 6th we go. West Valley on top of Eastmont 2-0. You're watching the Wildcat baseball action here today on the NCW Life Channel. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Eastmont still with some business to handle here as they trail West Valley 2-0. In the first of two games here today on the NCAA Live Channel, I'm Eric Grandstrom, Dan Kuntz in the booth with me here, along with Uriah Darby running the camera. We've got Lonnie England out in the van out there in left center field, and Becca Freemuth back in the studios. Tucker Wagner also helping out today. So we got all hands on deck.
Yeah, on a Friday afternoon.
How about that?
Usually on Friday afternoons at the station, you can shoot a cannon through.
Yeah,
our
wait a
office.
minute. That means I'm paying overtime to a lot of people right now.
Not me.
Duncan Faber will lead it off here for Eastmont to start out the sixth. Eastmont just 3 hits so far against Michael Arnold, and he takes the first curveball for a ball. 1-0 the count on Duncan Faber, who is 1 for 2, singled to center in the first and popped to the third baseman in the third.
As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, both schools are heavy on the right-handed hitters. Oh, he hit that well.
That is crushed to right field, sails over the right fielder's head all the way to the fence. Rounding first, heading in for second with a stand-up double is Duncan Faber. He absolutely smoked that ball to right field. There was no chance for Colton Moen out there, the right fielder, to have a line on that one. He just turned and started sprinting towards the Dortex sign out there in the right field fence below the scoreboard. And with one aboard here for Eastmont, that's 2 innings in a row where they've got the leadoff man aboard. That'll bring up second baseman Thomas Murphy. Murphy sacrifice bunt in the first, and he flew out to center in the third. First pitch to him here, high for ball 1.
I think both pitchers for both teams are getting a little fatigued. They're certainly not used to this heat, and that's going to suck a little of the juice out of you.
Yeah, it will. Considering we've had parkas basically needed for practice so far through the month of March. This pitch misses low for ball 2, 2-0, and now we see a body scramble out to the bullpen area here to start warming up for West Valley. Riley Lublin starts to warm up.
What did Coach Schmidt say in the pregame show? They had more indoor practices to go into this year than they had the 13 previous years combined.
Yeah. A turnaround and a feint at a throw to second base by the pitcher Arnold. The shortstop Vandenbrake was out there dancing around, but had gotten back to his defensive position by the time the pitcher turned to possibly toss back towards the bag at second. Duncan Faber with a short lead out there. And the 2-0 pitch swung on, popped up in the infield. And the first baseman, Cody Crow, calling for it. He'll make the catch on the grass. 1 out for Eastmont brings up the catcher, Mitchell Tomlinson.
A couple of notes on the uniforms. I'm sure our cameras can pick it up. You don't see this too often. Eastmont has their school name on their home jerseys as opposed to Wildcats. It says Eastmont. You don't see that too often. Normally it's the mascot. And the West Valley uniforms have the American flag sewn in the top of the back of their jerseys where their name would be. That's a nice touch. I like that.
Michael Arnold ready for the first pitch to Mitchell Tomlinson. This pitch swung on and lifted into the air to center field. Should be an easy play for the center fielder, Spencer Bailey. He makes the catch for the out. 2 down for Eastmont here in the 6th. Duncan Faber having the hold of the bag at second base brings up the center fielder, Chase Peterson. Peterson 0 for so far. He flew out to center in the second, got aboard on an error on the third baseman in the 4th.
Had a chance to talk to Principal Lance Noel of Eastmont High School. He came by to our broadcast van on his way out before he gets to enjoy spring break. He was much appreciative of our efforts to televise Eastmont sports, not only spring sports, but of course winter sports and last fall as well.
Pitch to the plate here, curveball. He's a strike. 0-1 to count to Peterson.
So thanks to Principal Noel for the nice shout out. It was very nice of him.
Glad he didn't tell us to move the van.
No, he did not tell us to move the van.
0-1 the count here on Peterson. 2 down for Eastmont. Runner at second base. And the pitch to the plate swung on and missed. And the count's 0-2 in favor of Michael Arnold on the mound for West Valley. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for West Valley. No runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for Eastmont. That's your line score here as we're in the bottom of the 6th, scheduled for 7 in the front end of 2 today here on the NCAA Live Channel. We'll have about a 20-minute break in between games. Get the lineups and get the field all set for game 2. This pitch high for a ball. 1-2 the count. A reminder, coming up tomorrow, we've got hockey back on the broadcast. We'll have that Game 4 of Chilliwack and Wenatchee Wild at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then a quadruple header of that entire Chilliwack-Wenatchee series coming up Sunday starting at noon right here on the NCW Life Channel. Pitch swung on and grounded towards the third baseman. In on it is Caffrey. His throw across in time. And Eastmont is retired here in the 6th. We will head to the 7th. With West Valley on top 2-0, you're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. Jared Garland continues to throw out on the mound here for the Eastmont Wildcats as we head to the top of the 7th inning. West Valley up by a score of 2-0, and the top of the order for the Rams due up here: Eric Towsley, Matthew Braun, and Justin Vanderbrake. Along with Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Grandstrom here on the NCW Life Channel.
Breeze has picked up a little bit. It's blowing right at us. We're, of course, down the third baseline. I got to tell you, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It got a little warm. Of course, you've been out there running back and forth between center field and here, so.
Yeah, I'm done doing that for a while, except between games.
First pitch to Towsley, misses for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Towsley's had a good game so far, 2 for 3 with an RBI. And this pitch misses low for ball 2, 2-0 the count. There is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen for Eastmont. And that looks like it's Dawson Schultz. A 2-0 pitch on the way to the plate. He's in there for a strike. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Or excuse me, 2 balls and a strike on Eric Towsley.
Spring break next week for all the local schools, so very little prep sports action.
2-1 pitch swung on and grounded towards the first baseman. Backhands the ball, throw to the pitcher, covering. It goes behind him into the dugout and will allow the runner to head to second base. I don't think he would have got him no matter what on the throw.
I don't think so either.
So I think that's a base hit, infield single, and a throwing error to put him down at second base. E3 on the throwing error. It's always tough. Those plays are so difficult to make, but I guess you eat the ball rather than throwing it.
As I mentioned before, one of the few left-handers in either lineup at the plate now.
Matthew Braun 0 for 3 so far. He's lifted every ball he's faced and hit into the air and out to the outfield. This pitch, he bunts it, and guess what? It went into the air. 0-1 the count to Matthew Braun. Flew out to center in the first, flew out to right in the second, and lined out to right in the fourth.
And I'm thinking he's going to get another crack at bunting here. Last inning of this game, unless, of course, we go to extras. I think the West Valley wants that insurance third
absolutely.
run. So I'm expecting another bunt attempt.
He squares to bunt, puts it down nicely. Off the mound as the pitcher won't even look to third. Throws a little bit high, and a double step over there by Thomas Murphy covering the bag. So a sacrifice bunt. 1-4 on the put out at first, and down to third base on the play goes Towsley. That'll bring up the shortstop, Justin Vanderbrake.
And I guarantee you, if Jeff Zender was coaching this team, the coach of the Panthers, he'd be bunting again right now. He loves to bunt.
Runner off the bag at third is Towsley. The pitch to the plate bounces in. Nice play by Tomlinson behind the plate for Eastmont. 1-0 the count to Vanderbrake, who's 0 for the game so far. Flew out to right in the first, grounded to short in the third, and lined out to left in his last plate appearance in the fourth. The 1-0 pitch to the plate is swung on and lifted in the air deep to left field, but backing up over to his left and making the catch with the sunglasses on is Duncan Favor. And that will score a run as the runner from third tags easily. So it's now a 3-0 game, West Valley on top. Give an RBI to Vanderbrake on the sac fly. F7 on the putout. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Cody Crow. So the Rams take advantage of the throwing error on the infield single. First pitch taken by Crow, 0-1 the count. Crow 0 for 2 in the game. Walked in the first. Hit one back to first in the second, or in the third, and then grounded out to second in the fifth. This pitch, a ground ball to the second baseman again. And right there for Eastmont is Murphy, and he'll throw him out, but not before West Valley gets a run on a hit and an error, and nobody left. Last chance for Eastmont coming up. The Wildcats trail it 3-0. You're watching Eastmont Baseball on the NCW Life Channel. To the bottom of the 7th we go, and Jared Garland, Kyler Morrow, Jack Kuski due up here for Eastmont. In their half of the 7th as they trail it now 3-0 to West Valley. Rams trying to counter the 4-3 loss earlier in the week and even the series with a rubber match to come. About 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, first pitch to the plate is a fastball missing inside for ball 1.
Mr. Garland needs to get on base. Absolutely critical.
They got aboard in the 2nd on a base hit and then popped up to the shortstop in the 4th. The 1-0 pitch is low for ball 2. Eastmont, the approach for each batter has been a little bit different. Some swinging early, some swinging later in the counts. The 2-0 pitch on the way here, low for ball 3.
Late in the game, you want to work the count. Pitcher's got to be tired at this point. Bottom of the 7th. Go deep. See if you can get something in your zone. Put it in play.
3-0 count to Garland here. You imagine he'll be taking the whole way. The pitch is right down the middle for a strike with a fastball. 3-1 to count on Jared Garland. 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for West Valley. No runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors for Eastmont. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike. Garland kind of wincing as he spun away from that one, thinking maybe it was low and outside. 3-2 pitch on the way from Michael Arnold. Swung on a chop back over the mound. Second baseman in on the ball. Smothers it and throws to first. Spencer Frula with the play there. And 1 up, 1 down for Eastmont here in the 7th.
One. That was a tweener there.
Yeah.
That one could have ate him up, but he stayed with it. Nice play by the second baseman.
We do have that cut on the grass here that has produced some interesting bounces here so far in this game.
Well, like everything else, the field needs a little work yet. That's certainly understandable.
So 1 down here in the 7th for Eastmont brings up third baseman Kyler Morrow, and the first pitch to him is a fastball strike, 0-1. Morrow 0 for the game so far. Got aboard on an error in the 2nd and popped up to the first baseman in the 4th. The 0-1 pitch on the way by Michael Arnold is a little bit low. Little breeze blowing now. It was blowing in from right, now blowing across from left to right or from center to right. Pitch misses for ball 2. There's definitely a cut in the grass up that first baseline in foul territory, where you got to watch those balls that skip up the line. It could definitely nerf against that grass and come back into play. Morrow takes ball 3. So 2 batters in a row, a 3-ball count by Michael Arnold, and another right-hander warming up over there in the pen just in case here for West Valley. 3-1 pitch to the plate is swung on and chopped over the mound. Shortstop over to his left will field and throw, and it's in time. Nice play by Vanderbrake. 6-3 on the putout. 2 down for Eastmont. They're down to it here with left fielder Jack Kuski.
And again, another nice defensive play by West Valley. That ball hit that grass and it's kind of skidded. It didn't bounce. It stayed low, and he stayed with it.
Kuski 1 for 2 in the game so far. Grounded out to third in the 2nd and singled in the 5th. And the first pitch to him by Arnold is swung on, and look out.
Wow.
Hits the rail, the top of the dugout on the first base side. Strike 1.
That'll wake him up.
Yeah, coaching staff for West Valley grabbing for their glycerin pills right now and get their heart going again. The 0-1 pitch on the way is a strike. 0-2. So Eastmont right down to their last strike. Trailing it 3-0. 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th. And the 0-2 pitch on the way by Arnold is swung on and fouled at the plate, and staying alive is Jack Kuski.
Wildcats have 4 hits, but they haven't been able to string together any kind of hits. They were kind of just scattered about here and there.
If Kuski can get aboard, Dawson Schultz standing on deck here for Eastmont would bat next. Again, the 0-2 pitch on the way to the plate, swung on, and a late swing, barely gaining a piece of that, was Kuski just to stay alive.
Don't want to put you on the spot, Eric. You may not remember, but has Eastmont put a runner on third yet in this game?
I want to say yes.
I've been running back and forth.
Yeah, it was Jack Garland in the 2nd. Right. Got as far as third base. This pitch misses high. Good eye by Jack Kuski. Yeah, that was a really good opportunity for Eastmont in the second inning. After Peterson flew out, Garland got aboard on a base hit, and then Cannon running for him got down to second on a error. This pitch swung on the ground and past the mound, and it is over to the shortstop. How about that play, by Vanderbrake? Able to get the wheels and play that ball deep, and somehow was able to get the throw across. And that is it for Eastmont here in this first game, as West Valley wins it by a score of 3-0. So Michael Arnold goes complete and gets the win, a 4-hit shutout, as the Rams even up the series between these two teams this week. And the rubber match will be coming up. We'll take about a 20-minute break here on the broadcast and get you ready for game 2 on the way. We have a news update with Steve Hare coming up from the NCW Life newsroom, so hold on for that. And probably some sights and sounds, get you a little taste of spring here for the Wenatchee Valley. And speaking of spring, we've got a lovely day for baseball, so let's play 2. Thanks for joining me, Dan.
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
We will take a break and come back. You've been watching Eastmont Baseball. Again, West Valley on top in Game 1, 3-0. Game 2 about 20 minutes from now here on the NCW Life channel.